Station Center. This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
You have to be strong in today's world. Keep your focus and what you believe in, how to achieve all your dreams. Keep moving forward, never accept less than who you are. Live your best life. Be strong and free. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back.
The Hit Back with Nahaja Black is sponsored by the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, Baha Retreat and Spa, Kalina Financial Advisors Limited, and J.S. Johnson.
Good afternoon, Bahamas, and welcome to the Hit Back. I'm your host, Nahaja Black. It is a beautiful day here in the 242. I hope that everybody's doing well, taking care of themselves, living your best life as best as you can. I'm noticing I'm having some technical difficulties, but hopefully my co-host will be able to help me through it as the technical issues subside. My good friend, Ian Yuri, how are you, buddy?
I didn't even know I was on. Usually you introduce me and I know time to stop texting, but that's okay. Yeah. It is what it is. I'm here.
It is what it is. Plus, I need support now because my internet a little finicky right now. I noticing something going a little hazy.
That means if you black out, I should continue talking?
There you go.
Okay. We have a plan because normally I go blank too and say, okay, what's happening? But now I know there's a plan. I will go with the plan.
Someone says, ever since I got this, since you got this new, you do. Spicy. I love it. Thank you, Kenny. Kenny knows. It's good to have you on, buddy. We got us, Wendy's saying she's living her best life. Can we live our best life? Yeah, man. Are you living your best life, CA?
I try my best. It's the only one I have. So,
your best life would require a little bit of flash, though. You could work on some lighting.
I need to do that then. I need to do some flash.
Because you're hiding the truth, bro. You're hiding the truth in the dark.
Yes.
It's so good to see you. Everyone, I hope you're doing well, taking care of yourself. You're listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It has been a fantastically interesting day for a lot of reasons. We've added more people to the cabinet, right? We've added, I think in total, this prime minister has 22 members of parliament, cabinet ministers from the House itself, I think from the members of parliament, 2 coming through the Senate, right? And then you have ministers of state, and now we have parliamentary secretaries. So, right? That's quite a bit. That's quite a bit of folk. That's quite a bit of folk.
Apparently, there's a word for that.
What do you call it?
Gussie May. It's a Gussie May cabinet. It's big, fat, and sloppy, but that's okay. I like a big woman. So the idea that the cabinet is big, it says a lot. It's something to appreciate.
Someone say your teeth extra white today. Listen. This is a big cabinet. Okay,
it's a big cabinet.
So
broad.
The prime minister. So there's quite a bit of news because there also was a press release sent out today that indicated that the prime minister must have had some sort of, they call it discomfort. Fell ill. He got sick. He was not feeling well.
You call it fainting. He had a spell.
They didn't say, what did they say? They didn't say he fainted. They said that he had some discomfort. That's different.
A big discomfort you get, and you drink that. That's when you get discomfort.
Which is drink? That's what it is for true?
Absolutely, yeah.
That's what it is?
All
right.
You never drank it,
That why it sound like cleaning fluid?
No.
It sounds like somebody cleaning an engine with.
It's a Caribbean thing. It helps upset stomach, It makes your stomach feel better. It works.
All right.
Never had,
Okay, so go ahead. You had a point.
Anyway, when you have an upset stomach, right? Like they saying, you drink Eno. You drink Eno. You don't go home. You don't go home. You just, they said, man, bring me a cup of tea, please. Just the hotel. What type of tea? What type of tea you have here? Just the hotel. You don't go home. I can sit down right here and drink this cup of tea with some lemon. Don't bring no milk. I can drink the tea. That's what happens when I have appetite. I do.
No. You ever had gas so bad, right? Someone says yes. All these people to drink,
See?
Oh my God.
See?
All right. Anyways, and we going off both because this is that. I don't want that to be the first bit of news, but since we're there, right? That's right. Black that young, because I know what you're talking about. No, Eno. That sounds like something to clean out your stuff
That's
with.
Drino. This is Eno. Eno's a good thing.
Sound like Drino for Drew. Okay, so the press statement was, and
let's analyze the press statement.
Let's analyze the press statement, please. So Candia made a statement. Oh Lord, so Nahaja Clint gone. No, I ain't leaving. Why everybody trying to get me to find a next job? Y'all blaming people Tropsy. All right.
Like where I could be right here. You got to stay with me.
Statement from the chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party, right? On the Prime Minister at the end of the ceremony for parliamentary secretaries this afternoon. The Prime Minister experienced a bout of discomfort as a result of of discomfort. Okay. As a result of a combination of his routine medication and missing a meal. You ever took a drug?
Yeah.
Right? You ever took a drug and you ever take vitamins on an empty stomach?
Yes.
You finish. You're finished.
I just get dizzy. I feel woozy.
No, and then you might throw up.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? So this is quite possible. A routine experience a bout of discomfort as a result of a combination of his routine medication and missing his morning meal. He left for home. I've spoken to him and he is recovered. He will chair today's first cabinet meeting at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. is gone. Did he show up?
I don't know. I assume he showed up. See, my routine, Nahaja, is I wake up. I wake up 4 o'clock in the morning because, I tend to work overnight. You know when I wake up? The wife is having my tea ready. The wife is have some toast there ready and get some butter and some jam. I'd get all of that. And I ain't get no money. She's taking care of me. Now, for me to miss a meal, something went wrong. You were crazy. You've never been so busy. You ain't serious, man. I always busy. I just said what my wife is do. I is have tea and I is have toast. No matter what. No, every morning. Even when she's sleeping, you just see she get up miserable. But it's getting mad. My point is, perhaps. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying perhaps. Perhaps no one made him no tea. That means someone neglecting on their responsibilities. That's what I'm saying. When if you have a good husband, you're supposed to make sure you get tea in the morning.
Well, I won't lie. My husband is having my coffee ready. I love my husband, boy. He knows me.
But anyway, my point is, someone didn't make no tea. And we need to investigate what's going on there.
Okay, I will tell you this. So I was minding my own. I didn't realize what was going on, right? I was in a meeting, right? So I in this meeting, and my phone started blowing up. Nahaja, what happened to the Prime Minister? I'm like, what? What happened to him? All of a sudden, then you get a press conference. A press release, and there's something, right? Now, here is the question, right? The question is, should we be concerned with the Prime Minister's health? How old is he?
He's 70.
That's not old. My mother's old. My mother's older than that. My mother's 70.
How old is your mom?
I just had to take her to the hospital the other day, though. That's a bad connection.
My saying 70, anything can happen. You need to take out to be a regiment. Breakfast at a certain time. You don't miss nothing. You don't miss anything. When you're 70 years and you miss a step, you just broke a whole hip. Your bones just turned fragile. I
hope you get to 70. I want you to live long.
I pray.
I want you to live long.
I want to live long, and I pray the wife is with me so she can make my tea. She ain't gonna let me leave the house. She ain't gonna let me leave the house. I mean, I might not get no breakfast, but I can get tea.
But you get tea.
I'm just saying.
But it has to be peppermint tea, So the prime minister,
mint orchard in the back, all kind of mint tea.
But only Oprah has orchards, okay? Only Oprah has orchards.
Small farm, then. And my point is, I have mint tea in the back.
Don't watch nothing. He's a new. He's a new prime minister. Yeah. So hey, you know what I was supposed to ask? So I called. One of my friends, what I consider a friend, is now a minister, right? Like how Dwayne was a minister, but we became friends afterwards.
You have a friend that's a minister?
I have a friend who's a minister, right? And so I called my friend to see if he'd still pick up the phone. He called me. So I was talking to him whilst he was in the car, and I said to my friend who's a minister, I said, oh, you talking to me because you have a driver, right? My friend says he ain't got no driver yet. So I said, oh, so we don't get drivers early? That's disappointing. I really thought my friend who was a driver. So my point in saying that is maybe all of the accoutrements don't show up, so you don't get breakfast yet.
No.
Right?
You don't get access to the 3 meats?
You don't get access yet. Okay. You don't get access to those things yet. You don't get the tea maker.
Well, first cabinet today at 2:00. I bet you all kind of food there. It could be stuffed today. It could be stuffed tonight.
But I think the good news is, above all else, the prime minister seems to be fine. He spoke apparently at the 2 p.m. meeting. He went home to, take care of himself. But a bout of discomfort, all kind of things. Listen, all kind of things could be happening if you had the wrong tea bag, even if you had them dyed as tea, you could run home with that too.
Yes, I've had dyed as tea and ran home a couple times.
Yeah, you would definitely, you could, all of these things could be happening at this time.
You could feel some discomfort if you had dyed as tea. I'll tell you that from experience.
Said your friend's driver got to go through a security check. He'll be on the job by a week. Listen, these people know all the details.
Yeah.
All the details. Because I told my friend who's a minister, you need to level up. What happened with your driver? I think we don't pay for the driver, right? The taxpayers, that's a given. All right. Some say they so. I'm just happy the prime minister's okay.
Yes. And as a citizen, you don't want your prime minister to be sick in any way. We can always jest and have fun about it. But we want a healthy prime minister, and we wish him all the best. And it seems to just be about the spell. And we hope he recovers quickly. And so we can continue these type of conversation and poke at him once he's doing well.
And that's the thing. He's doing well. And so we're happy that he is doing well. And, it's always a good jest sometimes just to find something to laugh at on a day, on any good day. But the prime minister, because he's well and not ill, this is why you can even have this discussion.
Yes.
So now let's go to what is also known, as you started off with the large cabinet. The large cabinet. We have 30 of the 32. No, not 30 of the 32. Sorry, that's inaccurate. Because we have 2 persons who did not run. That would be Michael Akitas did run. He didn't win, but they brought him in anyway through the Senate. So that stuck with their plan, I gather, their vision. And then you have Ryan Pinder, who didn't run. So I think it's actually 29 of the 32 that have been made cabinet. Is that the right number? Did you get that number, CA?
Well, I didn't add. I know I had 22 plus the number today. That's 29, 30?
Yes, somewhere about that, right?
So let's call it 29 for now until someone correct us.
Yeah, so I'll go with 29 for now. So we had parliamentary secretary sworn in today.
Yes.
Right? John A. Pinder, that was the member of parliament he won in Abaco. I think it was Central and South Abaco.
Yes, that's John Pinder.
Bacchus Roll, I think he was South Beach. Right? Leon Lundy, our guy, parliamentary secretary. Andrus, what I think it was South Andrus, Central and South Andrus was Leon Lundy.
South Andrus.
Kirk Cornish was North Abaco.
North Abaco.
Okay, and you need to listen to these ministries where they are parliamentary secretaries. Ministry of Tourism and Aviation for John Pinder. Bacchus Roll. You do?
I do. I have my reasons.
Bacchus Roll, parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Works and Utilities. Leon Lundy, Parliamentary Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister. Kirk Cornish, Parliamentary Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister in Marsh Harbour, Abaco.
Understandable.
Wade Watson, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Economic Affairs. Jamal Strawn, Parliamentary Secretary, but we say Secretary, in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Wade Watson won in which constituency again, CA? Do you remember?
That's the one who beat up on Travis Robinson.
Yes. He put the smackdown on Travis.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Leonardo Lightbourne and Jamal Strawn. He was the one. Wait, I know where he was. Jamal Strawn. Which constituency? Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He's the parliamentary secretary for. I'm trying to remember. I know it's on the tip of my tongue for him. Leonardo Lightbourne, parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Marine Resources, and Family Island Affairs. So these are more parliamentary secretaries. So 29. Miranda's got it right. Thank you, Miranda. 29 of those elected have themselves a portfolio. Thank you. That's where he was from. Jamal Strawn is Nassau Village. Leonardo Lightbourne is, y'all tell me where Leonardo, do you remember where Lightbourne is? Where's Lightbourne from? Right?
I can't help you. These were the names I said. I didn't know who these people were. And coincidence that you're calling these names.
Yeah. Jamal didn't have a song.
No.
But we didn't hear a song from Jamal. So that was
and I had the F&M peg for winning that seat. So I was completely off.
Well, that's one of my count salad issues there too. Just for the record.
I don't know what you're talking about. And you see, Lightbourne is not Andrus. I had that peg for the F&M also. So
You're a
I don't
loser.
know those two parliamentarians at all.
You are a loser. This is two elections you called completely wrong.
And I agree with that.
Someone said Leonardo Lightbourne was Yamakra?
No, he beat Gray Bear.
Zane Lightbourne was Yamakra.
He beat Gray Patch.
Yeah. Zane won Yamakra. Yeah. Okay. So we have 20 MPs for cabinet. Someone says it would be 27. I think it's more, right? 20 MPs of cabinet. We got to count the ministers of state, right? That's a lot. So we got a lot to talk about. What we'll do is let's take a break. When we come back, let's talk about the two that didn't make it. One in particular, Leslia Miller Bryce is not, and this is the one that hurts me. My mother-in-law, she cast her ballot in Seabreeze, and she was just surprised to find that Leslia didn't get a cabinet post, right? So she really ain't into politics, but for some reason she felt that one.
Yes.
She's so nice, right? So let's talk about that. Hold the thought. Let's talk about that. Let's go to break. When we come back, let's talk about Leslia not being in cabinet, all the others who aren't, and the power or the purpose of backbenchers. Now, what is their role? And she did something pretty classy that I liked, that I'll show you and tell you about that I thought was pretty classy. But now what is the function of the backbenchers? And let's see. And plus, PM Philip Davis said, I gave a reasoning behind the size of the cabinet. And I want to know, do we think that reasoning is justified? Let's talk about it. You're listening to The Hit Back with Nahaja Black, Guardian Radio 96.9 FM.
J.S. Johnson Insurance agents are the best. Reliable service, we've been on the scene, protected since 1919. J.S. Johnson Insurance has the test. You'll always cover me. J.S. Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
Have you heard about the COVID vaccine raffle? If you are vaccinated against COVID-19, you can enter to win amazing prizes like food store gift certificates, hotel stays, beach excursions, and so much more. Even if you are previously vaccinated, you can still enter to win. The COVID vaccine is free, safe, and protects you from severe COVID-19 infections. Don't delay. Get vaccinated today and enter to win. Visit www.paxbahamas.com to register.
What happened to you? You look like you lost your paycheck.
Man, I just realized I got scammed out of a bunch of money. They said I won this contest and just needed me to send them some money so I could collect. I mean, to expedite something. Or was it to smooth the process?
Man, you're smarter than that. Protect yourself against scams and fraud by following these steps. If you know you didn't enter a competition, you can't win. Never pay to receive a cash prize. If you're being asked, you're being scammed. Check trusted internet sites for verification of information given to you. Do not give your banking details to people you don't know. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. Monitor your bank account regularly for any questionable transactions. Get more information at getmoneysmartbahamas.com.
Baja sugar, sugar, let's get sugary. Softer, smoother, and amazing skin. No, Baja sugar, sugar, we're the sugar ladies, giving you skin soft as a baby's. Goodbye hair, we'll take good care of you.
Come visit us at Baja Retreat Spa on East Bay Street. Contact us at 323-6711 or visit us online at www.bajaretreat.com.
When I had got prostate cancer, my family didn't know if I was going to live. At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, within days, I got an appointment. They presented me with treatment options, and we set up a robotic prostatectomy. When my scans came back, there are no signs of cancer. They don't see you as a number, they see you as a part of the family. I'm going on with my life. It's a real gift.
Call us at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAO, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAO, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black.
Back, you're listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja Black, Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Can I just tell everyone, I appreciate you guys so much for every person who watches online, who watches on their cable television, who listens on their cable television, watches online and listens in your car, on your app, your Guardian Radio app, on your TuneIn app. I appreciate everyone so much. You have been, and you continue to be fantastic to the show. And why, just stating the same. I just always want to thank, especially to my sponsors. Cecil, you remember back in the day when we used to do this thing? We thought no one was listening. You remember back in the day?
I remember back in the day at a different radio station. I had to tap to make sure that we on air.
We was on.
Nobody calling.
No one on the line. No, nothing.
Let's talk.
Let's just ruin the air, right? So, but we have come a long way, and God is good. So let's go with this now. We know that the cabinet is built up, but we have one person, and I think there'd be two. I think there's one or two. The two that we know are the one and only Leslie Miller Bryce, exceptionally smart, love her personality, was really looking forward to her being in the cabinet. Unfortunately, because of, and I respect the fact that they did this before we said anything about it, before we knew about it. The party took a stance, and she understands it. And I'm sure that it wasn't much of a debate on it because the law is the law. We follow the letter of the law. I commended the fact that it wasn't something that we had to say that the media had to catch. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
That they understood that unfortunately, and listen, man, that's a family business. Your family business. is
And
your
plus, we
family
must
business.
appreciate that the PLP is full of lawyers. They have a lot of lawyers and constitutional lawyers who they can refer to, in contrast to the FNM, who had fewer lawyers, right? So they should know what is the law, what's the protocol and the policies should be followed. So I assume that happened also.
Yeah. And, one of the things, and Mikkel Barnaby as well. Mikkel Barnaby, who I think Mikkel Barnaby, if I remember, ran in Mount Moriah. Let me know, Daphne, if that's correct. Ran in Mount Moriah against Marvin Dames. Right? So I think that's accurate. And he also is without a cabinet post. We got, it's a full-on everything. Right? So
that's a total of 3, it seems, to be without a cabinet post.
Okay, so that's Mikkel Barnaby.
Yes.
That's
Leroy Major out of Southern Shores. And then lastly, Leslie Miller Bryce out of Seabreeze. Yeah. So it's possible. There's a possibility. Mind you, there are appointments being made every day. So we don't know what happens next, right?
Yeah.
Because they haven't announced who could be chairmen.
Right.
Yet, right?
And speakers, right?
And
so
Speaker of the House and whatever
Speaker of the House. Yeah.
So we have yet to know that. So there's 3 persons out, so they can be appointed to something soon also.
And someone said, "Oh, wait, hold on. There's more. There's 4. We have Patricia DeVoe was given a cabinet post, if I remember correctly.
I think she's pegged to be Speaker of the House, but I'm not sure. But
No,
I remember I saw her
pegged,
name on the list, but I gotta check on that.
Okay, no, so I actually, forgive me. I actually thought that she was already a cabinet post. Okay, so then we have, so far then we have, that's actually 5, right?
That's 5 or that's 4?
Okay, so let's go through it. Mikkel Barnaby, Mount Moriah.
That's what.
Patricia DeVoe, Bamboo Town. Leslia from Seabreeze.
Yes, 3.
And then we have Leroy
Major.
And there was another name. What was the other name? I thought there was another name. No?
4. That's 4 you called.
Let's go with 4.
So let's go with 4 for now.
Let's go with 4. So that actually is 4, right? So a lot of people are saying that DeVoe will be speaker or Leslia will be speaker. That's 4 persons without a cabinet post. And we still have to pick speaker and deputy speaker. Yes. Petty. Who's Petty? We had a Petty running in...
wow.
Who's Petty? North Eleuthera is Petty. There's so many people like...
Yes, Petty was North Eleuthera. Yes.
North Eleuthera. So 5.
Yes.
North Eleuthera. Okay, so we had... What was Petty's first name? I don't remember.
Tiavas, like a Greek name. Tavas.
Don't curse on the show. Urca still exists.
Sarius.
Sarius. Let's go with Tavarius.
Tavarius.
Because you ain't right.
Okay.
Oh,
I know it's close.
Sylvanus Petty.
Sylvanus close. They would have given me half a point for that.
No. Get away. No.
Okay.
So it's Sylvanus Petty. So
that's
here
5.
we have now, that's 5, right? Deputy speaker and speaker still have to be picked. And then you have chairmen, you can issue these 2, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Curious now, because all of this, I say, I have 2 more weeks. This week, I don't even count. I count last week and this week, this is set up. Then you have, I believe this government has about 2 more weeks before now we start to say, okay, what are we doing, right?
Yes.
So Ministry of Finance, investments with tourism and economic affairs need to give us some sort of reporting within the next 2 weeks.
Yes.
Right. When we talk about the COVID thing, I like the optics of what I've been seeing. The Prime Minister actually walking through the hospital. I had someone tell me they didn't like it. One of my good friends, Levin, said he didn't like the hospital walkthrough. Thought it was too risky.
I thought it was risky too, but I understood. And when I understand people are trying to do good and do well, I try not to complain. I just cast a blind eye to it. I understood what the optics was about. I would have liked to have seen him meeting physically, like a physical picture of him meeting with the Dal Regis. I know he said he met with Dal Regis, but I would like to have seen him do that for a visual. And I know that he said that he's going to meet with the COVID team. So I'm waiting on that too. So we'll see how the optics go with that. I would love to hear a report on what the COVID team says where we are and what needs to be done, particularly since Dr. Forbes said more needs to be done. And we didn't understand what that more needs to be done is.
Well, Dr. Forbes has been very clear on the more, She has never wavered on the more. The more was we needed more testing. We needed to quarantine people and not actually hope or pray that people will quarantine on their own, but actually find a space. Then we need to do better contact tracing to enhance this protocol. But we need to, she's always been very strong on her positioning. And she said, if we don't do more than what we did, which was just vaccines and I think it was vaccines and what was the other thing? Curfew to 9.
Curfew. Vaccines and curfew
to 9, that we would be going, really, it will get worse, right? I think one of the things that too many people were walking, and there was a lot of people that was walking through the hospital. It was like too many of them.
A lot of cameramen.
Yeah. There's a lot of people, right? So, it's one of those things where, too many of them were walking through, and I agree with them as well. Someone said, oh, Lord, I got to read that text. That text was pretty good. So we will see, right? Like I said, there's 2 more weeks. Now, going back to Leslia, something that so of course, I believe that she is definitely someone who has ambition, someone who seeks to serve, probably was, unaware, right? Unaware of the situation there. As many, when they found out, they made sure that, what it was is what it was. But this was what I saw. And I wanted to share this with you, CA and everyone else. So she issued a congratulations. Congratulations to all cabinet ministers from the Honorable Leslia Miller Bryce and the Seabreeze community. And I thought that was very classy and it was good optics, right? Because that there's this narrative that she doesn't have a post, that how it would be viewed or seen. I liked it. I thought that was good PR. If you ever need to have good PR when you're doing this business, good PR was this little congratulatory note to all the cabinet ministers, so that she's showing in a very way that, hey, I'm not in my feelings about this, that I'm a mature person and I understand the situation before me. I thought it was a pretty sharp thing to do. Not unnecessary. I don't think it was necessary at all, but I liked it as a statement on her level of maturity. I liked it. Nothing? So you have nothing?
No, I have no problem with it. I love optics and it's nice. I'm looking at the verbiage and seeing the word Honorable Leslia Miller Bryce and wondering if honorable is supposed to come with only ministers, or you only address yourself as honorable when you're in the house. And I was looking at that and wanting to know the protocol and thinking, we need to have some education on what is the standard, because I don't know, but I haven't angst about it, whether you can address yourself as honorable person without having a ministerial post onto your name.
Now, a great text that came to me, right? And just for the record, that's something of note. Cabinet hasn't resumed yet, but so honorable is a good point. But I think that you don't say MP. I think honorable is appropriate, eh?
No, I know that the title is automatic for ministers, right?
That's true. And automatic
for ministers, and then you address yourself as honorable member when you're in the house.
Right, you're right.
So when you're outside the house, right? I don't know if you.
I think you say member of parliament.
Yes, you put an N with member of parliament instead. And like I said, it's something small and tidbit, right? But that popped out for me, knowing that I had an angst for it years ago, and it comes out again. And I just said, in general, all of us in the Bahamas would need to have a refresher course on what is the protocol and appropriate language moving forward. Because I see we also using the term First Lady, right? And I don't know what this term First Lady is and
where it came from.
First Lady, right? Very American. And First Lady is supposed to be the head of state. And the head of state of the Bahamas is the Governor General, right? So I assume that if you're going to use the term First Lady, the lady, the Sir Excellency's wife would be the first lady, right?
Since she is the highest lady in the country.
So she would be the highest lady in the country, and not necessarily the prime minister's wife. And I've noticed that the Jack Thompson mentioned it. That was a mistake. And even the Honorable Brave Davis called his wife his first lady. And I understood it in terms of endearment. But I think it was inappropriately used. And again, we need to use these protocols moving forward, especially educate all of us so we all sound smart. And when we speaking abroad to these foreigners, we know what we said. We can cite the Constitution to the British and say, this is how it goes.
Yeah, listen, we in terms of, and you hit on some really key points because I like that word of protocol. I think there's still a lot of training that needs to go into our members, our ministers, parliamentary secretary, even us understanding what is the job function, right? What is the function of a parliamentary secretary? Are these roles necessary? I tell you, my questionable role is, what is the Minister of State for the office of the Prime Minister? What is that?
Now, mind you, in Abaco, I understand. In
Abaco, but the Minister of State for the office of the Prime Minister. That one I don't understand.
But understand that Abaco has an office of the Prime Minister. And also,
I'm not talking about Abaco.
You're talking about here.
Here. That's why it said the office of the Prime Minister of State for the office of the Prime Minister.
In New Providence.
That's all it said. So where else it could be? The other ones say where, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I need to know what that one is, right? But there are a lot of protocol things, and there's some parts of protocol that I got to ask you about too when we go on the other side of the break, because there's this note of victimization already with firings of F&Ms. So we'll talk about that on the other side of the break. Don't hold that.
Yes, I paused.
Because that's a whole other segment. We got to get that on the other side of the break. And see, so for the record, people are actually saying they agree with you, CA. That's
a change. Usually nobody agrees with me.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just so proud of you.
Yeah,
this is what we do. Sometimes
now if I get my tropical conch salad, but I won, things will be perfect.
Someone said she can't be that impressive. Her husband is a gamer. She should have been proactive and read the Gaming Act. Well, I don't know if she did actually, but if she did or didn't, I was unaware myself, but maybe they did know well in advance. Maybe they didn't. Someone says maybe the Minister of State and OPM will be
head. I assume head of NIB at this present time.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So you have those conundrums there with the size of government. The function of the 5 backbenchers now, or maybe it'll just be 3.
And
right?
And then you mentioned that the Prime Minister gave a reason for why his cabinet is so big. I didn't hear that. And
so let's go to that. So he defends his cabinet size, and I want to show that. So the Prime Minister defends the size of his cabinet. And I want to get everybody's thoughts on if this defense was reasonable, right? So here we are. Let me make sure I got it added. I'll get some things off the screen. Okay. And that's pretty small. So let's see if I can make it bigger. So the Prime Minister's defense of this, right? Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis yesterday defended his decision on the size of his 22-member cabinet, saying it is necessary given the issues the Bahamas is facing, right? So he goes on to say the remainder of Davis's cabinet, it goes on to say, which includes 6 ministers of state, was sworn in yesterday. 32 Progressive Liberal Party candidates were elected last week. Prime Minister Davis has selected 19 of them to be in his cabinet, in addition to 2 ministers who will serve in the Senate, Attorney General Ryan Pinder and Minister of Economic Affairs Michael Halkitis. Asked to respond to criticisms that he appointed a Gussie May cabinet, Davis said he needs all hands on deck. And it goes on and says, I don't get into those types of talks, he said. I know everyone is trying to distract from our job at hand. The enormity of the task at hand is what caused me to select the number of persons I have. You heard that? I know everyone is trying to distract from our job at hand. The enormity of the task at hand is what caused me to select the number of persons I have. I have additional parliamentary secretaries to be sworn in tomorrow. It is reflective of the enormity of the challenges I have, and all hands are needed on deck. What do you think of that, CA?
It's a sign. It's a sign on what's to come. He said that he needs all hands on deck, so there won't be any backbenchers. He already tell you. He need all of them. He need the last 5. He needs them to come on deck, right? So we know we're not to expect any backbenchers at all. So we can anticipate that. But what I found entertaining, and the neighbor's dog is barking, but what I found entertaining is the part where he said, I don't have any time for that, right? I don't have any time to entertain for that. And I'm kind of concerned with the wording. What does he mean he don't have time for that type of questioning, especially when we have a budget and we're trying to understand democracy? I'm asking you, why is your cabinet so big? Is there a need for your cabinet? And to say, I don't have any time for that type of talk, it's dismissive. It's dismissive. And and it's too early to say it's a trend, but I shall be watching to see if he say that same type of phrase again. I don't have time to be answering such questions like that.
Yeah, and listen, okay, that's why I say you're watching 2 more weeks, right? 2 more weeks, because you're settling in, you're setting your cabinet in place. I remember what the Speaker of the House said, and I remember he addressed this within the House of Assembly, and this was one of his first really speeches that gave you an idea of his thinking, which was that, listen, we shouldn't be any more than 17 cabinet members, because then you're infringing. The executive is infringing or going into the legislative branch, and it is affecting how we govern. Because if everyone is a part of the cabinet, then everyone is sworn to secrecy, or you cannot, really, object out in public. You can object in the cabinet, but when you come out, you're of one mind, one voice, right? And we agree in terms with everything. Even if you don't, the majority will rule in that situation, right?
That's collective responsibility. I think all of that.
That's what it's called.
Secrecy. Yeah.
Yeah, collective responsibility. So does that affect what we are hoping with governance? Is that more so what is happening, or is that what is happening when we have all of these people coming into the cabinet and reducing the persons in the backbench? And the backbenchers are supposed to be, and they have been, right? They have been, or their function has been to really be a strong voice, alternative outside of the cabinet, to speak up on things that matter and to question and push, but not to say that they are rejecting the government that they run with, but really to call into circumspect certain issues. So that's why I'm watching this. I agree that we are in serious times, and I am watching the plan. I'm watching to see if their words line up and their actions line up. I am very much interested to see how this plays out.
And Nahaja, we are in serious times, and I won't negate that. But democracy and deepening democracy diminishes the serious times, because everything we're going through is for how democracy survive inside the Bahamas. If democracy falls and falters, everything we do moving forward is all for naught, right? The idea of having backbenches deepens democracy. It keeps the government in check. It forces us to do well, to pursue democracy and to pursue developing the Bahamas to the next level. And to see that we are diminishing the need for such is a concern. And I would put it to you that should this government be criticized for it? It should be criticized. And this is all a part of democracy, criticism, and saying, this is why I think that there's a place for backbenchers. This is why we have it, right? And every so often, the prime minister may have to be checked, even if he believes he's doing good. Every so often, we as the people may say, I understand what you're trying to do, but this is more important to us moving forward. We want a government of accountability. We want a government of
transparency.
And that can only come about when you don't abuse the process by having everybody under this collective responsibility. And now that everybody's in collective responsibility, democracy, to me, has been diminished within the House.
You know what would be interesting to me now, because normally what we're saying is that everyone has to eat, right? So everyone now is getting more than the member of parliament's check, right? And they're getting whatever other check based on their cabinet position. I think what would be a good sign to the Bahamian people is that if you find that these members of parliament, considering that the time is dire, right? That we are in a tough fiscal space. If we have leading in this would be the prime minister saying, and we now will all be taking a 10% pay cut. That would be powerful. Would that not be one of the better moves? Or 15% pay, take the pay cut. Take the pay cut. And now the cabinet isn't as Gussie May as we would think, because now we see sacrifice. That is a visual thing. And by the way, that doesn't really make a dent in the treasury, you know. It is just something that is visual, something that you see that gives you an effect that, okay, these people are serious. These people were financially strapped.
The optics.
Yeah. This is what you do, so that now I no longer talk about the Gussie May cabinet. Now I'm talking about, man, they give themselves a pay cut, but these people serious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nahaja, you remember the other day when I was on the show and we brought, and it was announced that the financial secretary has returned.
Yes.
Right? And we said more than likely the acting financial secretary will no longer have his job. Mm-hmm. Right? And we said we should expect such, right? Mm-hmm. And I made the comment, well, wow, they're already saving money. Right? Mm-hmm. Look how much money they will save because there isn't 2 salaries they're paying. And right after that, we created a new ministry with staff and housing, all kind of money there. Then we have the Gussie May cabinet with all the salaries, and said that little bit of money that we did save for that one day, gone. You know, but it is what it is. And like I said, I understand what happens when you have a large majority. These things happen. So I don't want to over criticize the government. You know, I understand why they're doing it. And if I was in this place, I would have done it too. I would have taken care of mine. I ain't taking care of mine, and I'll embrace the criticism for it. But we must acknowledge that there should be criticism.
Yeah.
It doesn't negate the criticism. Yeah. We should criticize the government for their large cabinet, right? And I, as a government, like I said, with large majority, I would have still hired everybody because I know all my people them need to eat, as the saying goes.
See, that's what the saying. We don't need that right now. We don't want that saying. You don't want that saying right now. You know, do you remember one of the big follies of the early term of the Minnis administration? They came and told us the cupboard was bare. And one of the first things he says in the House is that we need to give members of parliament a raise. You remember that?
I think the PLP agree with him. Just said it was not right then.
No, so you can't agree.
Come back up again.
You gotta know. You gotta know when to agree. You gotta know when to agree. Yes. That was not the time to agree. You know, you don't agree. See, my thing is, what this government needs is buy-in. Let's go to what we have to go to the news. But my point, I want to bring on this point of this, that we need this administration coming off of the heels of a terrible one, right? Needs that collective buy-in and belief. 60 some odd % voted. The rest were disinterested or not on the roll. We don't even know why, right? That matters when you're trying to bring people over. This government can find itself being the successive government if they do simple things as regaining trust, confidence in the ability to lead. So it's early, but there are some early things you can do that the optics will work in your favor. And I think that you're saying, okay, listen, you're getting 2 checks now. One that's $28,000, and now you're a parliamentary secretary. That's probably another $40,000. You didn't have that before. Maybe in your career you did, but let's take 10% of that. That's $6,800, or not 6,008. Yeah, 28 and 40. Let's say that's what it is. We know it's not that low, but let's just take 10% of that. $6,800 out of the total is still not bad. I mean, that's great. And that shows the country, hey, these guys are understanding that the rest of the Bahamas is struggling to feed themselves. And that is just a symbol. All it is, these are symbols that keep you ingratiated with the people. We know that they don't have a budget because this is still the Free National Movement's budget from last term. So they got to manage this budget and figure out how to use it the best that they can. And I don't think a lot of things that they promised the first term, they could deliver on, I don't think so. We'll see. But let's take a quick break. When we come back, my good friend C.A. Nuri joins us. We'll be back right after this.
Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black.
You're listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja Black, Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. I hope that everybody's doing well, taking care of yourself, living your best life. Hope everybody's living their best life, man. Always seek to be greater, do greater things. Go out of your comfort zone. Don't listen to the limitations of your friends or your family, of your loved ones, sometimes of your spouse, of your kids. Don't listen to those limiting beliefs. Believe in yourself, and you can, achieve a lot. Now, faith without works is dead. So don't just go there and start saying, I believe in me, and you ain't doing nothing else. Don't start singing, I believe I can fly, because Negro, you can't unless you got a ticket. So I want to bring on my good friend, C.A. Nuri. All right, C.A., unmute yourself. This is 2021. Okay? New day.
It is what it is.
Always good to have my good friend, C.A. Nuri on. Okay, so there's a lot of things, but I wanted to finish this thought process before we move to this next segment, right? The buy-in, right? So my whole thing is, I had someone said to me, they said to me yesterday, boy, Nahaja, it was one of my neighbors, right? My neighbor, he cracks me up all the time. He says, boy, Nahaja, man, you must be I guess it sounds weird to say out loud, right? Because, it's a new vernacular for me. You must be a crabby. You ain't say a crab. Focus.
I was focused. I smiled.
That's why.
If I was light-skinned, all this would have been red, but that's okay.
And, that is the term for PLP, right? I guess, right? When did that become a thing anyway? Why do PLPs want to be called crabs? What does that mean? I don't even know. Where did that come from? But I digress. Anyhow. So apparently I'm supposed to be mad about anything right now. So I'm supposed to pick up and start throwing bottles because a new government in. I think that's quite a bit of a misunderstanding of function and purpose. You don't row just because you won't row. You row or you bring up things that are matters of point. Like, what could I possibly discuss right now about the Progressive Liberal Party in 2 weeks? Help me out, Cecil. What did I miss? Because I could have missed something.
I didn't even realize it was 2 weeks already. It's like
it's only a week?
5 days? I don't know.
Jesus. You been telling me it ain't even 2 weeks yet? This feel like this been going on long.
I start when the house can join, whatever. When they assume the house, that's when I start. So you mean to tell me it hasn't been 2 weeks? Because just feel like this been going on for forever. I don't know. I know they have a lot of swearing ins. Like every day is a swear in. I expect one tomorrow.
It started on Friday because the last Friday the Prime Minister got sworn in. And then Saturday was the deputy. Yeah, that was a lot. Yeah, I see what you're saying. That's why I feel so long. They just been doing a lot of that.
I'm hoping they get discount to go be in that big ballroom because it's a lot of time they be in there. And that ain't cheap.
Listen, I always tell people at least it'll work. The last crew was what? How long it took before they went to work? But we digress.
Like a whole 2 months or some sort.
Man, listen, they was still having mini rally at every island. I remember saying, "Why? Well, my Prime Minister that like white pants and red shirt." Anyways. We digress, right? My thing is now that there is that buy-in. Yes, we won the election, and that is something that I said. The Bahamian people won, who voted. The Progressive Liberal Party won the election. They got that majority vote. But what we saw was that there was quite a large measure who didn't vote. A large measure who still believe that this is not a new day, that it's the same as the old way, right? So one can't necessarily govern without the confidence or trust. And so there were key things that I liked with the Prime Minister's speech, with Chester Cooper's speech, where they said, listen, we're going to be he said, in essence, I'm going to be the Prime Minister of everyone. Even those who are against us, those who attacked us, that's great. You want to hear that. Chester Cooper, pretty much reiterated the same. All of these things you want to hear, right? So we want to hear these things. And at the same time now, we want to see things that are moving us forward. If COVID is a major concern, the walk through the hospital was probably to address that. The finances, still waiting on where we are, candid report on that, especially post a downgrade. So these are all things that you're waiting for. And I say 2 weeks. 2 weeks is after this week of swearing in and getting your cabinet in order, getting your people in line, another 2 weeks of really beginning to see what their assessment is once getting in office. So that's fine. And I think all of this is that time that you give them. It's not a honeymoon, because the honeymoon is they ain't doing nothing. And then they wait another 2 weeks after that to say, oh yeah, we ain't got no money. As that would be the honeymoon, right? Like we didn't figure out things a little tough. So the government needs to make sure that they're always walking, not circumspectly. They don't have to be perfect, but they definitely, these first few days or weeks, have to show some large levels of transparency and accountability. So the questions need to be asked and answered, and that your words line up. So then you have all of this talk today. And I heard the voice note, and I chuckled quite a bit. And so this goes to now your protocol thing at the beginning, right? And I have a question on protocol. So there's now this voice note that's traveling that is talking about victimization, right? That F&M firings are happening, in particular the office of the Prime Minister. You've heard of this, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so what 10 people about that? We're not certain of the number, right? So the voice note was circling. So and at the end of it, it said that my good friend is moving to the office of the Prime Minister as what is it? Press secretary.
Secretary or some sort?
Yeah. Clint is moving.
Any truth to that?
Listen, if he would pick up the phone, apparently if somebody ain't picking up the phone all of a sudden, I ain't expecting to get called on the show tonight.
Stop answering the phone.
All of a sudden, I'm on a don't respond to list. This might be legit. I don't know.
The phone busy.
Phone all of a sudden, I just, when you get on WhatsApp, the call just goes to, call not declined and not answered. That's it. Yeah, that was me with my friend today. But if this is the case, I wish him all the best at his next endeavor, if that is indeed the case. But long and short now, here is this discussion on political firings. And I know for a fact that a few of them were hired by the former administration to serve the former administration. I have a question then. What should be the role or the protocol of when your service is connected to a party and their term, right? It shouldn't there be something where you leave with them? Am I missing something?
And Nahaja, that is the protocol. I'm fortunate to have a good cousin, Eugene Nuri, who was the ambassador to United States and to Haiti at one point in time. And he mentioned to me once when he's telling a story that when the PLP lost the election, right, he wrote his resignation. In fact, he had it already written, and he sent it in, right? Mind you, they kept him on. The F&M administration kept him on as the ambassador. And I said, well, why did you turn your resignation in? He said, that is proper protocol.
That is the protocol.
Because you serve at the pleasure of the then Prime Minister, right? And I think these people are starting to forget themselves and do not understand how they got the job, why they got the job. They are serving at the pleasure of the sitting government and the sitting Prime Minister.
Yes. So
to be hired and fired at whim, right? So automatically, when you see the election is lost, you send your congratulatory remarks to the incoming government, and you turn in your resignation, right? And allow them to either accept it or decline
it. And so, I mean, to paint this picture as this is some level of victimization.
They hate me as F&M.
Yeah, but so my thing is, but you know that to be disingenuous. You served at the pleasure of that government, right? And that is why I would tell people don't build your future on political jobs. Really, it is only for a short term, right? It is only for a short term.
But this is why they campaign so hard. When you know your job is connected, you put all out and you campaign hard in order to secure your job. So I understand the passion and the anxiety these people have, but they should understand and don't have any ill feelings or hard feelings. You turn over the work. In fact, right, I believe it's protocol that ministers park their cars on election night, have a whole day before so they can clear out all their personal documents, just in case they do not win the election.
And that is
no need.
And that is the protocol. You actually are supposed to clear out your office. At the moment, for many, at the moment when we are calling this election, many of them don't have to have a job, right? So then you should already be making those exit strategies already. But for your cabinet ministers or any post, you clear up. I would say, and this is things that have to be in writing, I think. These are things that have to be, if not in writing, if they're not, they need to be. These are the rules of the parliamentary process, the voting process. 2 days before, everybody out, right?
Everybody out. Yes.
Everybody out, right? And there's no questions or worries about who's shredding what, how is it going, the documents, none of that. And I believe there should be a transitionary period or a transitionary team, so that we don't leave another government just walking in the next day and not knowing what they're about to find. And that there are certain positions, if you know you are, especially in the OPM, which is directly connected to the prime minister, right? Those sort of hires that were like, if you start talking about the former press secretary or the communications director or some other folks who know that they were politically assigned, you cannot work for this prime minister in good conscience. And this prime minister is quite aware that you can't work. Now, take it back. Ace and Ms. Wells, professionals. I believe that they can function in any space.
Yes.
Right? I think there was another reporter, Ms. Ferguson. A lot of these people can function in any space. But if they were hired and picked for that administration, the other one chooses whom they wish to have theirs as well, right? Someone who you trust to deliver your message and whatnot. But I think that there are some things you just hand in the resume and hope to God that you stay.
Nahaja, I want to ask you a question. And I'm doing tongue in cheek, of course. I'm going to let you answer.
Yeah.
Which office, for sure, if you carry any secret documents there, there's going to be a leak. And that's the office of the prime minister.
That was a leaky place.
All files is go missing. We don't know how this get in and out, right? So me, as a new prime minister, walking inside the office of the prime minister, no.
Clear it up.
All of them got to go. Because the files can get leaked out and they can go missing. Something is wrong. You need to clear them out and put people you trust around you and explain to them, I don't expect nothing to leak out of here.
That's it. And listen, you have a mandate, you have a government. I don't see, I think the firings that always cause me concern, right? Or will cause me concern are ones that make no sense. Because I remember when the entire gaming board, you remember when the entire crew from the gaming board got cleaned out?
Yes.
Right? And we're trying to figure out why. What happened there? Now, obviously, the court case came out and they got I think they got their monies back, or the taxpayers still got to pay. But the case was won for being wrongfully discharged. We have a whole Simon Wilson as the financial secretary sitting on the sideline. They couldn't fire him even if they wanted to. And there's still a lawsuit. We don't know what the problem is there. So we had a lot of these firings that we saw made no sense in terms of, misplaced or whatnot. There are some people who are pensionable. I was told one person I'm aware of who's pensionable and permanent in this crew who has been asked to leave. We will see. My thing is, I don't have a problem when you got to make sure under your sphere, your space, the people who are there are your people. This is mandate time. This is get the work done time. I don't need to worry about if you're going to call your former boss and say, hey, you remember?
Yes. I got one news for you.
I got one piece for you.
Yes.
So I have no problem. I don't see it as victimization, especially if you were a political hire. Some of these people even knew that their jobs went past just the OPM's job, but they were campaigning hard in this election. And if you're, so I think it's disingenuous.
So let me throw this in and I'll let you do what you got to do, especially with callers, whoever it is. What about police officers who were assigned to special projects? I thought that was victimization.
Meaning truancy? Meaning they weren't even security guards? Like whole ranked police officers getting sent to the gallows of work.
And I want to know who is responsible for assigning senior police officers on where they work. Is that a commissioner of police? Is he in charge of the police force?
Well,
or is that the minister who can say, hey, commissioner of police, I can tell you what to do with your police officers. You
well,
are
that
not
isn't
in
the
charge,
process.
and I am in charge.
Well, that's not supposed to be the process, right? There's supposed to be a separation, right? There's supposed to be that separation.
I don't even know no more because I know 3 people were transferred.
The process was, now the allegations by the men was that, hey, listen, we believe this is coming from the top. This is coming from National Security's office. Why we are being placed where we are being placed, right? And don't forget, we had 3 commissioners of police under the last administration, right? One, by the way, I think one no longer has that ambassador post now. I think all of them, of course, have to resign. But this process is something else, my friend. Who made them leave? Don't forget, Wayne Monroe was their attorney. and
they're back now, though.
Now they're all back. And Wayne Monroe is the Minister of National Security. Everybody's happy.
And he made that announcement. The first announcement he made. All of them back.
Everybody's happy. You get your job back. Get your job back.
Everybody dictating to the commissioner of police. That's what it seems to me.
Yeah. Someone says the commissioner assigns the officer where necessary, not the minister. That's supposed to be the rule, right? That's supposed to be the separation. Now, we know that there's a lack of separation, I believe, between the office of the Minister of National Security and the Commissioner of Police.
Clearly. We see it on both sides again. First time we saying that the ministers can tell us what's happening on the force to their own officers. Something wrong with that to me.
I think that's always, we'll see how it goes. But I will say that we have to do things in decency and in order. You have to make sure that everything that you do is in decency and in order, man. And I think protocol needs to be done in every area. You hand over your resignation letter if you were an appointee, and then if you get to stay, you get to stay. And you put your case in why you want to stay. If there is even with regard to the policing situation, my God, man, 2021, and this is what you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what we got to deal with, right? That let you go, not really, made you worse than a security guard, go work to the girls' industrial superintendent. Go, it's just ridiculous. I don't even know what's going on. But they're back. Apparently, that's okay. We're all good. Right? We're all good. Everybody's happy. So I think that there's a lot to be seen. We give them 2 weeks. When we come back, CA, let's dive into a little bit more of what we've seen so far. Let's talk about COVID-19, the way forward there, our plans there. What do you feel that the government's plan should be? Our thoughts on where we should be going in the next 2 weeks. What should we see starting to work up and out? All right. You're listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja, Black Guardian Radio. We will be back right after this.
Sugar, let's get sugary. Softer, smoother, and amazing skin. Oh, sugar, we're the sugar ladies. Giving you skin soft as a baby's. Goodbye, hair, we'll take good care of you.
Come visit us at Bahar Retreat Spa on East Bay Street. Contact us at 323-6711 or visit us online at www.baharetreat.com.
The Water and Sewage Corporation advises the public and its customers that the corporation will commence improvement works on Bamboo Boulevard, South Beach East, beginning Friday, September 3rd, 2021, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily for a period of 8 weeks. During this time, there may be some interruption in water supply and traffic flow around the work area. The corporation apologizes for any inconvenience caused.
What happened to you? You look like you lost your paycheck.
Man, I just realized I got scammed out of a bunch of money. They said I won this contest and just needed me to send them some money so I could collect. I mean, to expedite something. Or was it to smooth the process?
Man, you're smarter than that. Protect yourself against scams and fraud by following these steps. If you know you didn't enter a competition, you can't win. Never pay to receive a cash prize. If you're being asked, you're being scammed. Check trusted internet sites for verification of information given to you. Do not give your banking details to people you don't know. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. Monitor your bank account regularly for any questionable transactions. Get more information at getmoneysmartbahamas.com.
When I had got prostate cancer, my family didn't know if I was going to live. At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, within days, I got an appointment. They presented me with treatment options, and they set up a robotic prostatectomy. When my scans came back, there are no signs of cancer. They don't see you as a number, they see you as a part of the family. I'm going on with my life. It's a real gift.
Call us at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black.
We're back. You're listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. My good friend C.A. Nuri joining me on the show today. Okay, so just a lot of things. Only ministers and senators use honorable. Senators use it for life. Regular MP is not known outside of the House as honorable. And I will say we got a lot of folks listening from all walks, former MPs, former members.
Did you say senators use it for life?
That's what was said to me. Senators use it for life.
Rodney Monco was right when he calls himself Senator Rodney Monco.
Senator, good senator.
I did not know that. I thought, why does good German keep on using the term senator so much? Now I know he has it for life.
Yeah. Okay. Someone says, Mrs. Patricia DeVoe for Speaker, Leslia for Deputy Speaker. They also need a government whip, deputy whip, and ambassador to CARICOM. That was Ruben Raming's old post. They're right on that. Someone says, my bipartisan view is that we have not been in the place as a nation before. There is so much to be done. Agreed. So, says a new ministry was made, but another ministry was not continued. Disaster preparedness is gone. Now, on a response to that note, the prime minister, when asked about the fact that he put no substantive minister to that ministry, said that he believes that, and I remember the name of the minister that he mentioned, who is an engineer of environment, I think, would be the one who would now take that under his portfolio and manage that. And so that's good. So we kind of like shut down that expense, brought it under the new minister's portfolio. Remind me of the new minister's name, Cecil. And I have it all here, so we'll get to that too. But so, you know, that's how it was. Some folks are upset with Clint's move. If it's true, not sure yet. Tell you, I'm still waiting on my good friend to confirm to me what is going on. Yeah, so we'll see. All right, so we got some other news here too to discuss before we go on. Last night, the Free National Movement had their meeting, right? They had their meeting, CA, and that meeting was to determine the fate of the former prime minister and present leader of the Free National Movement. We know, and I've been told for a while now, I knew before elections, that if the Free National Movement had lost, there would be a calling for his head. Mm-hmm. I knew that they were already upset with his leadership style. There is a group that are of strong F&Ms who are anti-Dr. Minnis. Dr. Minnis, though, has the council around him that he's picked that is very loyal based on reports to him. And hence why after that vote of confidence that moved from 17 to 12, they then went to the general body that then made a vote last night, right? And that vote last night was that, and because that vote last night was to say, do we agree with the council that was around Dr. Minnis in their vote of confidence, 17 to 12, him remaining the leader? What came out of the meeting last night for the Free National Movement was that former Prime Minister Minnis will remain the leader until the next convention, right? And the convention, when asked to the chairman of the party, he said November. They're looking at November. Okay, so and they also mentioned that the former Prime Minister Minnis will not be seeking. That's what is agreed. Will not be seeking re-election. So he will continue to lead the opposition and the House leadership from within the House.
That's what's said, because I was going to ask you what you mean continue to lead. Will he be the leader of the
leader of the law? Yeah, leader in the
will
law.
He also be the leader of the opposition in the House?
Both.
Which is two separate positions.
Yeah, but both for now.
Okay,
both for now. And so what we know is that he will not be leader of the party anymore. His name is no longer going to be on that list. Cannot be on that list for leader of the party. What I did know beforehand, too, was that Dwayne Sands was the front runner. If he had won his seat, this would have been easier this would not have been a debate, from what I was told, if Dwayne Sands had won his seat. That Dr. Minnis, regardless if they had lost, that Dwayne Sands would have been ushered up as the leader based on reports that I got. Dr. Sands lost. And then there were other reports. Of course, before all of this meeting, before even the meeting, and I was aware of the first meeting, what was reported to me, apparently I have sources now, this is powerful, that Dr. Minnis had a special group that he wanted, a person he wanted to lead, which would be in the House right now, which would be Kwesi Thompson, to take his place. And then Michael Pintard would be second chair. But that was not what was wanted by the crew outside. They wanted Michael Pintard as first chair. Kwesi or whomever, or Shannon Dunn would be second. And it was a whole thing. It became a whole thing. So this is now where we are. Where we are now, though, is after all of that coming down to the wire, what we are aware of now, apart from no more allegation sources in the back room, we know for a fact that Dr. Hubert Minnis is not wanted by the party to run again. They are calling his time done. He will be the shortest serving prime minister in the history of the Bahamas because of the snap election. And the Free National Movement members have said, hey, listen, this is the worst beating we've ever taken. I mean, I figure now these beatings come in waves just like this. If each government contends not to do it right, then they'll just keep coming in waves and everybody will end up with a bad beating. What are your thoughts on that whole thing?
Well, I would say that this isn't the worst beating they've taken. I remember when 97. Anyway, when Tommy T was the leader of the Tommy Turnquest was the leader of the FNM, he lost his seat, and the deputy of the FNM lost his seat. Right.
That's right.
And they had a small contingent. Also, I think about 7 or 8 persons again.
With the loss of their leader. Yeah. But not a sitting prime minister, right?
Surely that was the worst beating they've ever taken, right? And then the Honorable Hubert Ingram had to come back and say, Tommy, let's go and win your seat. You know? And when
that was a setup, man. Everybody knew.
Yeah, I'm the leader. I know Mr. Ingram won't challenge me for the leadership. And he didn't know that was already planned. And it got taken from him without him even noticing. But I would assume that was the worst beating. This is kind of small. At least you have a leader still there.
At least you have a leader. Eh? Well, they're counting the numbers and saying that this is the worst one. And they are not happy, or they're fine with this right now. Now, someone's saying, well, they're waiting till November. Minnis is going to outsmart them again. And I look, the fate of the Free National Movement, I mean, for us, I gather that's for us who are interested in the party's machinations. All you're curious about for me is who will come out and take them out of this space, right? Like the space that they're in. I do believe that a removal of Dr. Minnis gives them air. It gives them breath. Is it breath to new life? Every party gets breath to new life, I believe, because you have time. You can watch and see if the administration who's leading makes mistakes. You build off of those mistakes. You can jump off of those mistakes to a platform. So every administration has new life, once you can get rid of, once your eyesore is gone, right? So the PLP decided that they had to be gone with a lot of the old PLP. So Perry Christie resigned. They're not bringing back quite a bit of the older ones. They did not bring back. You still have Leslie Miller sitting on the sideline.
I want to interject there and say Mr. Christie lost his seat.
He did lose his seat.
Subsequently resigned. And then continue. Go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead. That's a whole nother narrative because a lot of people say, oh, he resigned, but he lost his seat.
He got beat.
He got beat bad by 6 votes.
You know, and someone says, if your party does not want you to be leader and tells you they will dump you at convention, why would you stay? So, because you don't want to leave a vacancy that might have someone who you definitely don't want there.
That's what happened the last time.
Right? So that was the reason why I've been told that the prime minister will not resign. Just sort of, he's ensuring that someone who he doesn't want there goes and runs in that constituency, wins. And the data shows that the favorite in the Free National Movement, the data shows that Dwayne Sands is the most popular Free National Movement candidate, former.
And I agree. And I don't think people understand the F&M machinery and to know that there are a number of factions. And these factions come together and decide amongst themselves that we are able to support this particular person. Mm-hmm. And I know that we have, the F&M has 2 or 3 favorites. You know, they call the word named Shenandoah Cartwright. They call the word named Michael Pintard. But that doesn't necessarily means that the various factions support these 2 men, right?
Exactly.
So imagine you put these forward and the faction says, I'm not voting for them. You know, it's send someone else. Send someone else. But I want to also interject and say that, remember that, I think that was in let me don't call no dates, that when the F&M, the PLP first lost, and the blame was, and I remember Philip Galanis did a report, and the blame was cast on a Perry Christie as being the reasons why they lost. Then, once again, they rebuilt themselves, and Perry Christie was able to survive.
Yep.
Right? And still maintain to be leader of the PLP, and then subsequently won the election. Right? And we need to remember that happened also, that they didn't push him aside, even though they tried. Right? And people challenge him. All the challenges lost. Mr. Christie won and continued to lead the PLP into victory for the next election.
Yeah. And this is where, I mean, I think that, you know, I'm sorry. I don't think there's any equivocation on this. Dr. Minnis needs to resign. I think he just needs to just resign. I mean, why do I have to butter it up? I think he should just resign. I mean, give the party new air, give the party a new space to breathe. But I understand, look, I've said it many times. A lot of people are defined by certain things that they do. It strokes their ego. I'm speaking with F&Ms. There are people who are so anti Dr. Minnis. I mean, like strong ones. Who I know one strong F&M, like shocked the bejesus out of me when they said they are going to vote and they're going to not vote F&M. I can tell you what they vote, but they sure did something. I was like, hell must he done freeze over, because this is the weirdest thing, and this got to be a new day. Because when you doing this kind of stuff, people, and they said to me, I'm doing it because I can't stand that man. I said, well, what a time. This next level. This is next level. And so that sort of you need a fresh move. I think Dr. Minnis should just resign. I mean, all of this dollar whining and stuff on this topic, just do it. You're a successful man. You were the prime minister. You know, you will be in the annals of history, right? Maybe it will be marked with worst, but
and one-time prime minister, shortest prime minister reign, worst, yeah. But he has company. Perry Christie also has some of those labels.
Perry Christie, listen, we were sure Perry Christie was the worst. Like, yeah. So
we had written down Mr. Perry Christie worst. We had to I had to liquid paper that whole section.
I actually had to tear out the page and rewrite it. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know it was so permanent. Literally, this guy came in and said, no, I want to be number 1 in this field. I am going to beat you. And you know, and you could say that Mr. Christie had some terms to do it, right? Some terms to do it. Brother came in and said, I am a winner. Yes. And being the worst. So I don't even think right now, I will say right now he will go down in the annals for many as being the worst.
Not even a tie?
As being the worst. Yeah. at least Barry Christie, when he started to do all of that talking and dancing around in circles and stuff like that, there would be times when he would say, okay, the people have spoken, I won't do X. Not the referendum, not that, because he definitely changed his mind.
Yeah,
He called it a poll.
yes, he did.
Yeah, he definitely called it a poll right after that, after $2 million. But we digress. So I think I'm just... I thought the last administration left, the pre-LP left the bar so low that the Free National Movement last term would fly through all of the hoops, be looking fancy. Yes. You know, we would still have a hangover from the former Progressive Liberal Party. These brothers, them came and burned the road, just burned the road, just set everything on fire, and then said, call it a good time, you know? And even the good that they did, you couldn't see for all the smoke that they left behind from the carnage. So now this administration only got to... Actually, no, they can't even only. We're still in an economic crisis, so they actually have to show up and go to work. They cannot dollar wine at all. They have to show up and go to work. I have a lot more confidence based on how they started. Look at the start of the last crew. But y'all, we got work to do, Cecil. So the F&M needs to do, Dr. Minnis needs to go.
Well, Nahaja, I know we run out of time. I just want my VAT go down to 10% and minimum rates increase. And I don't want no slapping up. You need to do that by next week, man. You need to set some date times when they plan to lower this VAT. You know, because I went to the food store Sunday and I thought it ain't gonna be long. It ain't gonna be long now. I should be able to save a couple pennies soon. And waiting until the end of the year ain't working for me. I need it before Christmas to buy my ham and turkey.
But what I want with that too, Cecil, is don't forget now we got a wholesaler, a food supply who said the last few months going to be an increase in cost. He didn't project that, right? Based on shortages. So now I need for someone to come and tell me how they're going to make sure the consumer protections are there, right? You got because I need to know when you
only protect what do you call it? The items, the bread basket items.
Well, man, one time I went and there was a sticker on my bread basket item and it was the wrong price. I said, remember the sticker on the bread basket item. They say, oh, sorry, is that the only one on the shelf with that wrong price? I say, does it matter? Let me call the manager. The rules keep changing. They don't want to give me my. I give up. But anyways, when they go with 10% down, make sure that the people ain't increasing the price so they can get their revenue anyway.
Yes,
that's all I'm saying. You know, but the prime minister is they're adamant they're going to reduce VAT, and that's fine. But then you got to, deal with some of these exemptions, deal with some of those exemptions so that you can find the revenue other ways. And I think that's what they know they have to do. But I want my VAT reduction. Yes. I like that idea. And I like the vaccine idea, free.
Yes, I'm not sure how they're going to do it, I know we run out of time. I keep on looking at time, so forgive me. Mm-hmm. And so much to say. When they say free vaccination, I know that most of us go to private hospitals and private clinics.
Free test, not free vaccination.
Testing, forgive me. To get tested, we all go to private clinics and so on. Mm-hmm. Are they going to engage the private clinics? Or I have to join that line at Princess Margaret Hospital and government clinics to get this test?
Yeah,
I just would see mad chaos, and I don't want to be on the line with these people who COVID. I don't want it.
You might be COVID.
I test every week. Like when Thursday. I gotta go tomorrow. Sorry, I gotta go tomorrow.
You COVID. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, let's talk about that now. We have to travel now, Cecil. We have to travel. Bahamians want to travel, and to go to the States, you must be fully vaccinated. But the lady from the U.S. Embassy said it's likely that AstraZeneca. It's most probable that AstraZeneca will be, allowed. Probable. I need we think it's good. I need more than that. So let's talk about it. You're listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja Black, Guardian Radio. We will be back right after this.
Sugar, let's get sugary. Softer, smoother, and amazing skin. Oh, sugar, we're the sugar ladies. Giving you skin soft as a baby's. Goodbye, hair, we'll take good care of you.
Come visit us at Bahar Treat Spa on East Bay Street. Contact us at 323-6711 or visit us online at www.baharetreat.com.
The Water and Sewage Corporation advises the public and its customers that the corporation will commence improvement works on Bamboo Boulevard, South Beach East, beginning Friday, September 3rd, 2021, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily for a period of 8 weeks. During this time, there may be some interruption in water supply and traffic flow around the work area. The corporation apologizes for any inconvenience caused.
What happened to you? You look like you lost your paycheck.
Man, I just realized I got scammed out of a bunch of money. They said I won this contest and just needed me to send them some money so I could collect. I mean, to expedite something. Or was it to smooth the process?
Man, you're smarter than that. Protect yourself against scams and fraud by following these steps. If you know you didn't enter a competition, you can't win. Never pay to receive a cash prize. If you're being asked, you're being scammed. Check trusted internet sites for verification of information given to you. Do not give your banking details to people you don't know. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. Monitor your bank account regularly for any questionable transactions. Get more information at getmoneysmartbahamas.com.
When I had got prostate cancer, my family didn't know if I was going to live. At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, within days, I got an appointment. They presented me with treatment options, and we set up a robotic prostatectomy. When my scans came back, there are no signs of cancer. They don't see you as a number, they see you as a part of the family. I'm going on with my life. That's a real gift.
Call us at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black.
We're back. You're listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja Black, Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Hope that everybody's doing well, taking care of yourself. I'm getting a lot of questions. Listen, I don't know what Clint is doing. Okay, I really don't know. I'm waiting on the information. Just like, well, I probably get it before y'all, since I'm behind the 8 ball. But I support my good friend in whatever he decides to do.
You want me WhatsApp him? I'll WhatsApp him.
WhatsApp, because he ain't responding. You WhatsApp him. Ring his phone right now whilst we on air and see what he says, please. Because that Negro, right? So, but I think it's quite probable, right? You know, some people getting let go, so some new people got to go in. Hey, Cecil, what do you think? What do you think?
There's a double tick, no blue tick though. I'm just saying, it was delivered.
No blue tick. Okay. Mrs. Black, there was 18 people transferred from the road traffic department with no reason known to them. They were all issued letters to report to other ministries and displaced with nothing to do for the last 2 years. Oh, wow.
But they weren't fired.
But they were removed. And so we had a lot of that too.
So they got their paycheck.
Yes.
With nothing they're straight, man. They're straight.
Man, but that's the next thing, right? All of these people working and they ain't got nothing to do. I need that job. What was the pay? We be honest, we struggling, and this is where my problem was. We paid 2 financial secretaries, you know. We paid 2. And I know we had one show one time where one seemed to have gotten a bump, You know, the acting one got a good little, you know, renegotiated contract. Good for them. But we paying for it. I just throwing that out there. We can't have this level, right? Think they need to rethink the Excellency High Commission. I like how people say Sabast. I was given to Mr. Sabast. What's his first name? Is it Sebastian?
Sebastian Bastian.
That's right. Sebastian Bastian. Lord, say my friend was the PLP's version of Omar Archer. Y'all need to stop. Can you explain why Leslia didn't qualify for a cabinet post? Well, the reasoning why she did not qualify for a cabinet post was because her husband is the owner of a gaming license. And by that measure, no spouse, you know, you cannot have a cabinet position if anyone in your immediate, what's the word I'm looking for? But anyways, since her spouse had a gaming license, but there's another word that I'm looking for that best describes it. So she was unable, she could not qualify as such, you know, special interests, etc. So that left her out of that listing, right? But there's options for her as the deputy speaker. People are saying deputy speaker. I'm curious as why not speaker? Because of the level of experience from Mrs. Patricia DeVoe. Is she more experienced? What are your thoughts?
What experience she has? She was a clerk.
I started trying to figure out what I missed.
She's a police clerk.
See, she must be in the court better than y'all.
That's what it is.
Must be. And that ain't the courts, that's the House with him. So I try to figure out why everybody's saying that she will be the speaker over Leslia Bryce, but we still don't know who is
speculating. You know, but what I'm very impressed with is the outpouring of concern and care of Bahamians in regards to Leslia Bryce. A lot of Bahamians love the woman. I mean, so many people ask, what did she get? We're excited about her, you know, and that says wonders about her character and her affiliation, that there are a number of people who have strong endearment for the lady and want to make sure that she's included and that she is successful.
Yeah. Related party. I can work with that, right? Related party is good, but I was trying to figure out what was the right word, but it is family. Is it just family? I'm trying to remember the document. Is it family or anyone that is in direct relation, right? Okay, so we'll go with family. Someone says she's a good person, though. She's a good person. Yes, she is a good person. People, when they meet, she's very easy to like. You ever meet her, she's very personable. My husband is kind of tough. He don't like many people. He's an introvert, right? Now, so when he said, you know, I like her, I had to watch him. I said, you know, why you like her, though? Because you don't like people. I'm watching you, Nico. He was okay. Someone says, because she's pretty.
She is pretty.
That's why I had to watch him. And they're like, listen now, anybody ever know my just as a joke, right? So I told my husband, I think I told you this story, Cecil. I told my husband on our daughter, you know, we were supposed to come up with the name of the baby's name. I take one, he takes one, right? So that was the goal. Now I'm in labor. The nurse asked, what's the name of the baby? And I give the first name. So I looked at him, I said, well, what's the second name? He said, I can tell her right now. He goes outside, comes back in. I said, what did you name the child? He says, Gabrielle. I looked at this man, dead in his eye. You know why? Because he named this child after his TV crush, Gabrielle Union, this uncircumcised Philistine. That's how I got to watch.
Got to have her close. You try to have her close.
Just say, I like her. Whatever you like. Anyway, so, no, let him know what I say. Jawara, I see you. So, but I digress. Someone says, what it is Prime Minister Davis going to get rid of that silly most honorable title that Mr. Minnis bestowed on himself? In my opinion, it is insulting to the Prime Minister that served before Minnis. It was the most, was it most honorable doctor? Yeah. What do you think?
It's a national title. It's the official and highest title of the land right now. We have bestowed it on a number of persons post-mortemly, and we have bestowed it on a lot of prestigious and persons who have dedicated themselves to the Bahamas. So you can't be taking away titles, and especially if you're not going to replace it. We need to get rid of that Sir title and these knighted titles of these foreign dignitaries and stuff like that. Get rid of that first and leave the Bahamian one alone.
Someone says that is simply not true. Sans is not the most popular. Only on Guardian Radio. FNM's actually had a poll done, and Shannon Don was most popular MP, and Pintard was number 2. That was before election. We're not talking about, well, the polling that I got was an exit poll that was done from a reliable data source. That's why I actually said that on the day of polling and the day that 2 days before the elections, that's what we got from an exit poll.
People still forget the machinery and the factions of the FNM and who they want. So it should be interesting to see who put their caps in the race and with the machinery itself.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. You must be spoke to me because I supported the FNM for. Oh, this is Black. This is interesting. Someone says polls don't work, Black. Tell that to the people. You're right, because these some seriously weird polls. Yeah, right with you, Mr. Black. You must have spoken to me because I supported the FNM for more than 25 years, but I can't stand minutes, so I voted PLP for the first time. And I used to think Perry was the worst PM, but it's minutes. I'm telling you, this is crazy because that was some of the things that I got right. Someone says he couldn't get the right honorable because he was not a lawyer. Is that how I go? I need to one day, Cecil, we got to get on the show. Someone will give us the walkthrough of all of these titles, right? How do the titles work, etc. That might come back and say, well, too much. Okay, someone says Nahaja, Patricia DeVoe is the one who said our party does not have a lot of blackies when she introduced Dr. Dowell as the brown-skinned curly hair guy.
Yes, that's her. Yes, that is her.
You know, it made me think of our former speaker when he said he had an indigenous wife. Yeah?
The Awak lady. Yes, we know.
So, okay. So now we have a new speaker. Well, hopefully there's no vote of, what do you call it? Not a vote of no confidence against this one, right? So let's hope for the best. But that was, so I didn't even realize that was who it was. We don't have any blackies in the House of Assembly. What a time. All right. So we got to go. Buddy, thank you so much. We got another show.
It was a pleasure. It was very enjoyable. I learned one or two things, especially with that Senator for Life name. That's new.
Yeah, I didn't.
Now I want to be a senator. I want to be a senator.
Me too. Let's see how it goes. No, I don't want to, because then they call you right out. We're out. You're listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. Everyone have a good day. See you tomorrow.